Welcome to the SheEO Behind the Scenes podcast. Today, Vicki Saunders, founder of SheEO, and myself, Hannah Cree, SheEO Venture in Residence, we're responding to the question, are you going to change the SheEO name? And this is only part one of our branding conversation, so let's jump in.
Okay, we're actually going to be changing our look and feel. Not our feel, our look. Why don't we jump into that? And we, didn't really tell anybody.
I will say,
sort of. Well, we sort of did.
Yeah. It was like this trickling though, again, right? At Summit, you got up and said, we are considering maybe a name change. We're considering, and that's pretty typical for any organization that's 5 years in, is looking at a brand refresh or looking at those types of things, because you have more people now and you have more momentum and things start to look different or feel different. And so a brand refresh is actually, in my opinion, is very typical of that. But you got up on a stage and said, we are considering even a name change. And you got how many names suggested to you from marketing agencies?
Yeah, a little bit of backstory on this one was, from the very beginning, there has been like a bit of a rub with SheEO. So I have a mentor. Yeah, exactly. With this, one of my mentors is like, this is way too trite, Saunders. Like, what you're here to do is like much more important than like this cutesy name, right? Like immediate whatever. And then, so that was like older white man saying that to me. So already discounting it by 50%.
39%.
I love him, but you're not my target audience. So thank you for your feedback. And then there's this, a lot of people going, oh my God, what a cool name, right? Redefining what it means to be a leader. And then lots of other people who are like, oh my God, I hate that name. I don't want to do anything women only, which is like mostly my generation, who were brought up to not do anything woman only, because if you did, it was going to be discounted and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And if you're going to change the world, how are you going to do it just with women? That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, think staging strategy. Think if we don't actually heal women's money issues and come together as a community to support each other. If women come together, everything changes, like everything. And if we stay separate, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so what if we tried a different experiment? It's an experiment, folks. Join it or not, step in. So there was always this back and forth. But what started to happen a few years ago is, like I live in the future. I definitely am like ahead of the curve for sure. And I'm like, gender's going away. This is just, she is not appropriate anymore. It's not inclusive. It's problematic. What are we going to do about it? And that doesn't mean we want men to be part of our model right now. It just means that we have a problem with inclusion. And so what are we going to do about it? So we started to play with that and think about it. I started to think about it a lot. But did I have an announcement or write a blog post and say, what about the future? I didn't. I just started noticing. And then more and more people started coming to us going, this doesn't really feel like I'm part of this. And so then we started to build out the big, long, two-spirited LGBTQII, gender non-binary, like all the words, and started looking at calling, doing women with an X instead of an A or an E, and have had conversations for like a couple of years. And then I said, I really think we have to explore this. And I was sitting in my living room with one of our activators, and she goes, I know this creative director. She's the one who created Priceless campaign for MasterCard and the easy button for Staples. And I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
Sign me up. So I'm like, what's her name? And of course, on my phone immediately, I ping her on LinkedIn and she responds right away. So the next day I'm on a call with her.
Wow.
She becomes an activator and says, oh, I love what you're doing. We met in New York. And then she said, I'd love to do a project to see what this would look like. And she knows people from all over the world, all these branding expert folks. And she had one perfect person in mind, Ali Lario, who's Brazilian, who was living in London, who had started this organization called She Says, that had 6,000 women creatives all over the world that she built in this like self-organized way. And I'm like, oh my God, and she's already built an org kind of like SheEO, of like, how do you get people to self-organize? So I called her, we had a conversation, and Ali's like, this is amazing. I can't wait to work on this. And so we spent like 4 months, and again, didn't announce it out loud. Didn't want the input of 5,000 people to like, here's the name I'd like. Cause we were just like following what this, the expertise of some people. And so they went through all this stuff, did a bunch of interviews. They talked to quite a few activators and ventures. And then they came back with this presentation. They were so excited. And they're like 108 names. And they went through a bunch of them, but they didn't, of
108.
course, they didn't present them all, but they said, we had 108 names.
Wow.
And they went through, here are the ones that we liked the most. And I'm like, no, not so much. I didn't like any of them really. And, you know, I showed it to a few people, not a ton. And then MJ said this amazing thing. MJ's one of our development guides. She said, you know, literally everything about SheEO is so different that if you have a name that you have to explain to, isn't that crazy? Like, it has to be way better than SheEO to change the name at this point.
Yeah.
Which made sense to me, right? So we shelved it and said, not now. And part of the thing is, my experience has been, when it's right, it happens with ease, like almost in an instant. And when it's not, it's like hard, and it's like, and I really do trust my intuition after like years and decades, basically, of like not trusting my intuition and following some other Yoda's, like, this is the person who knows everything, follow them. And then it never works for me. So I really do trust my intuition almost all the time. And so we just shelved it. And then you came on to help us with like updating our website and our logo and our look and feel. And part of the thing that just, I laugh inside now, there's this awesome woman named Rooks, super, super cool young leader who's emerging. And when I first met Rooks, she's like, your logo looks like some old lady menopause thing. And I'm like, well, I am an old lady and I am in menopause, so I guess it's appropriate. Thanks, Rooks. You make me feel really great. But I
matching the founder. Like,
I know.
what?
Yeah, really?
So
Thanks.
awful.
Old lady menopause. Yeah, that's how I describe myself. Not. So that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, the hip, cool young ones coming along are like, this doesn't resonate for me. So again, another data point.
Yeah, and I'm not hip, young, and cool, you know, only in my 40s. But I will say, and I reflected on this last night, was that I first got introduced to you actually from Gina. There was some email we were supposed to connect, never did. And that was the original one, but the name of the organization also kept me away. And I was like, and from mine, because I came from the school of, I don't want the boss babe, the babes who like all of that stuff was like, I really felt like discounted us is exactly what white men want us to do. It looks cute. It's not coming after them in any way, and they can put some money there and feel like they've done something good. And so I was like, well, it's another kind of boss babe thing. That was my original reaction too. And how it shifted for me was because I met another venture who was Alana for 21 Toys, who was doing her workshop on empathy, and I was in it. And an entrepreneur asked, like, what was the game-changing moment for you in your career? And she was like, SheEO. And I was like, what? Just this moment of, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I had all of this built up in myself, nothing that I saw in the community or anything, just my own pieces. But I think that's the piece about branding anyway. It's very subjective. Of people bring their own stuff, their own thoughts, their own feelings, their look and feel, what they would prefer, and they make interpretations of people's brands all the time.
Totally. Yeah. And I think so. Yeah, I mean, like, boss babe, sexy with heels, like whatever. I've been asked to be on all the podcasts, right? And I'm like, so no, that's not the thing. But I do. Yeah, I mean, I get that it's a bit cutesy. I get that. But it was really like, how do you redefine what it means to be a leader today? Is how I was looking at it. And how do you lead with, you know, these values? And we're focused on women, so she. But anyway, so we went through this whole thing, and then we started to look at our website a month ago, and how we're going to refresh it. And the team's like, so what are we doing here? I'm like, oh, just, you know, like, update the look a little bit. So like, not a whole redo. No, just a little. This is the Vicki Saunders way of, like, you know,
let's just do a white background.
Let's just white background. Part of the thing was, our brand is way too forward.
Purple
and
forward.
We need, purple forward, people, like, and we need to have people forward. And when we first started, we had to talk a lot about ourselves and this model and what it was in order to build momentum. But now all of the results speak for themselves: the people, the ventures, the activators. And so it needs to be activators and ventures forward. And I mean, I think one more thing I'll just say about the name is that I originally designed this with tons of other people, you know, around the world, my community of entrepreneurs and investors. to focus on solving this issue of like getting money into the hands of women.
Yeah.
And what's happened over the last 5 years is this venture focus only is the wrong focus. It's almost like we have to turn it upside down. The activators make this happen. And I kind of missed that whole piece of my design. I focused only on how do you create the conditions for entrepreneurs to really thrive. And I forgot about all the people that were in the conditions. Oh yeah, that part.
Yeah.
So the title SheEO also keeps some people out because they think they have to be a business leader to be part of this, which is not the case. Yeah. Anyway, so here we are. We decided that we were going to just jump in and make the website look cleaner.
Well, I remember because it was like, okay, we're going to just do a white background. We'll go people forward. There's so many photography and photos that SheEO has. It's incredible. You've never used stock photo. It's always women, you also like, let's not cover women's faces with any type of design. Like, let's have this clear. And I remember calling you and going, because, we were doing it with a team. And I said to you, I was like, we have to look at changing this brand. Like, if we're going to do this, like the colors and like, let's actually make a run of a new logo and new colors. And I was like, I know we don't have a lot of time and, campaign starting in September, but like, if we're just going to do a white background, like something I knew I could feel something was missing, but typically this kind of brand refresh would take any marketing company a year to do.
Yeah, that's like not a thing.
Not for SheEO.
It doesn't take us a year to do anything. No, I understand that, but I mean, I'm just a hacker, right? And we have a hacker culture. We have a get in, do minimum viable thing, get it out the door. It doesn't have to be perfect. Iterate, play. But yes, thank you, because and other people in the team, Tanya was like, come on, but we have to do something with this. Let's go back at it. And so we called up Ali again and said, hey, any ideas on someone who could maybe pull together a logo in a week?
No big deal.
Yeah. And I mean a week, and we have like no money basically. And she's like, let me look around, because she's got this amazing network. And of course, in 4 days, right?
Find someone in Toronto.
We had a call. They were in Toronto, creative director, boom, and brought back 5 logos. And we went, oh my God, yay. Anyway, thank God. So it happened in an instant. And then, here we are redesigning the website and about to launch this for people to see.
Yeah, it like happened in an instant. And it also was interesting that the logos that were presented almost felt like SheEO in the next 5 years. It was like SheEO now in the next year. And we ended up, and we started with the logo that was kind of SheEO now. We were all like, yeah, that's it. The and the ampersand. And we landed on really SheEO of the future. And that's what I'm kind of excited about. Also the ease of it, because all of us in the background also were like, Vicki's never going to get rid of purple. Vicki is never going to like the futuristic piece. We were just like, all of us were a little bit nervous in the background of it, going, oh, we don't know. And then to watch even you going, no, this feels right. No. And noticing that beforehand, the reason the resistance was there, it wasn't feeling right. It didn't look right. We didn't going to change the name. And then all of these things happened so quickly, but also with so much ease.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a misperception that we have about everybody, that we think that because a person was a certain way or likes a certain thing, therefore they're going to like it forever.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to announce, in case it's not already obvious, that we would blow up anything at any instant at SheEO if it didn't feel right. We really would. Like, the fact that you have 5 years of brand equity into something doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I would never stick with something that doesn't fit with the world that we're in and doesn't feel like it's of the essence of what we're doing. And I think, lots of people, I was talking to my husband about this the other day, and I said, there are literally like departments of logo police in companies, right? The logo police. It's like, don't use it this way, use it this way. It's this is our brand. It's everything. And I'm like, actually, isn't what you do everything? What do you mean your brand is everything?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the action you take is what matters, not the words and the look. And so, I mean, I know that's probably radical, but, I actually think that what we do as an organization is way more important than what we're called. And if people are blocked from joining us or coming into our community because of our name, they are totally not the right people to be in our community. If a name literally blocks you, from doing something, holy
Yeah.
cow, you got some work to do with your mindset.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
Yeah, because you have to dig into it, right? You have to actually
Yeah.
have the experience. You have to show up to the calls. You have to know what the organization is about. I think that for any organization of how they name and what they do, if it's just the name that's blocking you, there's way more deeper
Well,
things
because
going
like
on there.
literally that's the smallest amount of work that we need to do. We have to actually decolonize our entire bodies, like everything about us. And if you can't literally get past a name, you're literally not going to be on a transformation journey with us. Seriously. So anyway, enough of that. Coming soon.
Have a topic or question about SheEO? Send us a voice note to hi@sheeo.world, and it could be featured on the very next behind the scenes podcast.